Hello, my wildlings, and welcome back to the Widowed Turnabout. In the last episode, I managed to find out that Mr. Incent was in love with Bonnie, and Bonnie was in love with him. And I ascertained that probably means he didn't kill her. And good old Mr. Payne has objected, of course, and is going to explain it to us, because apparently it's a very simple matter to understand.
Mr. Lovelace simply decided that she loved her... Mrs. Lovelace simply decided that she loved her husband more than she did Mr. Incent. The fact that she never entered a relationship with the defendant shows she was at least faithful. Simply put, Mr. Incent didn't take too kindly to that rejection. And since he couldn't have her, he decided that nobody could. And that is his motive.
Do you have to do the laugh? It's really fucking creepy. He's finally just noticed the hair on his head. It's like, that's actually hair? Ugh. I thought he just had a curtain around his head. Yes, I would say that is a solid motive, eh? We only ended up helping the prosecution. True, but at least we now know the truth. But did Mrs. Lovelace really decide to stay with her husband? I'm willing to bet there was a reason that the victim no longer loved her husband in the first place. Well, that's certainly possible. But what could that possibly be? And what would he do if he found out that she was thinking of leaving him? I don't know, maybe shoot her, burn the whole divorce papers, and then frame it on the person that she did love? Perhaps? Mr. Payne, isn't Mr. Lovelace your next witness?
Yes, the next and final witness. He was there for the moment of the crime, after all.
Wait, you don't think that Mr. Lovelace killed his own wife? It's a possibility, and a likely one. It seems there was a very good reason why Mrs. Lovelace wanted to get away from her husband, and it would also give him plenty to reason to frame Mr. Incent. Who could do that to their other half? It's despicable.
What are you muttering about over there?
Well, nothing you need to know yet. So, the next witness? Bailiff, bring it Mr. Lovelace in. Oh, this guy already looks creepy. I don't trust those eyes. Those eyes have seen things. Scary things. He's not even wearing his glasses. Do you actually even need those? Or do you just wear them so that you look smart? I'm on to you, Clyde. How do you do? I'm Clyde Lovelace. What is this voice? Is this the voice I'm going to give to him? You know what? How do you do? I'm Clyde Lovelace. Yeah, that'll do. I am here to testify. You are the widower of the deceased, correct? Yes, it is a terrible tragedy indeed. And yet there's not a tear in sight. You may have hit the nail on the head, boss. Yes, the truth can be horrible at times. Yeah, the music's not there again, and it did load the whole green thing, so maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe it just hates me. It's fine. And yet the victim had no powder burns. If he had shot her where she had fallen, there should have been a mark on her back, a burn from the point-blank shot. Unless... could the body have been tampered with? Perhaps she was already dead?
Name and occupation for the record.
Clyde Lovelace, unemployed. I was somewhat of a house husband. Ah, so you kept the house nice and tidy while Mrs. Lovelace worked. I've just realised I've given Clyde the same voice as the judge. Yeah, it's fine. Something like that. Or he just lazed about all day. Now, isn't it true that you witnessed the murder? Yes, I was unfortunate enough to see everything, and now he's gone to this voice. I can't get a voice for this guy. He's just slimy and all over the place, so his voice is going to be as well. Her death will forever be ingrained within my mind. Oh, such a sweet death it was. I mean, I agree. It was indeed such a terrible thing to say. See, I haven't even said that yet. No, but I can see it in your face. He is good. You have my deepest sympathies.
And mine as well, but we must dig up those memories. I need you to testify as to what happened that day.
You mean tell you all about Bonnie's death? Yeah, that's an easy task. Insert this, and I'll show it to you. Man, his voice is really confusing me now, because I can't nail it. I can't get it. Ah, well. I'm going to nail him, though. In the sense of I'm going to get him a guilty verdict, not... No. Stop it. Rude, naughty people. My wife had just returned home. All was normal. I sat at the dining table at first, reading the day's newspaper as she sorted herself out. Then she came into the kitchen. We talked for a little while. I got up from the table and stood over by the kitchen appliances. She walked over, too, and looked out of the window. And that is when the shot rang out. She collapsed dead, and I was frozen in place for a time from the shock. Going back to that last thing, you said she looked out the window and then was shot. And according to the autopsy report, she was shot in the back. What you're saying implies she was shot in the front. So already, I don't trust you. I then called the police, leading to this very day. Oh my, what a harrowing experience. Are you going to be okay, witness? I'll be fine once this criminal is behind bars.
Oh, don't worry, Mr. Lovelace. Your wish is my command.
Starts curling the curtain hair again.
Any wish.
My wish is that you never do that laugh again, please. That matched what Miss Skye had said to the letter. Nothing seemed to be out of place. Oh, I don't know about that. Huh? I think this testimony holds a case-shattering contradiction. One that brings up a great deal of doubt to Mr. Lovelace's story. All right then, boss. Let's go get 'em. Yes, let's do that. My wife and I had just returned home. All was normal. Sure, that's fine. I sat at the dining table, reading the day's newspaper. Yep. Came to the kitchen, talked for a little while. Sure. I got up from the table and stood over by the kitchen appliances. That's fine. She walked over and looked out the window, and that is when the shot rang out. Okay, now that I have a little bit of a problem with, because this kind of says otherwise. So the victim was standing at the window when she was shot, is that it? Yes, I remember it clear as day. Oh, well, that's odd, don't you think? Odd? How so? To be honest, there are two things wrong with this. First off, the victim supposedly was standing in the middle of the room between the window and the cabinet, which is not at the window as the witness described. Well, it's surely possible to... Oh, I've accidentally skipped the thing. Never mind, it's fine. Oh yeah, that is true. But that creates an even bigger issue.
It does?
It seems you've forgotten, Mr. Payne. Or maybe you didn't actually read the autopsy report. The autopsy report? We have one of those. Oh, this. I've just been using it as a coaster. My mistake. It clearly states that the victim was shot in the back, which would have been impossible for my client if she was facing the window.
No!
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, the defense has an excellent point. It's a huge contradiction. If the victim was at the window looking out of it, she couldn't have been shot by the defendant. What's more, the body wasn't found crumpled at the window, but in the middle of the room. But what does this mean exactly?
It means I made a mistake. I simply remembered things incorrectly.
She was facing the cabinet, standing in the middle of the room when she was shot.
But what if he didn't remember incorrectly? And that's exactly how she died.
It would mean she was shot in the back from inside the apartment. Your Honor, the defense asserts the original testimony was correct. I believe the victim was actually shot while looking out of the window.
But that would mean she was shot from inside the apartment. You have no proof of that.
Proof that she was shot from inside the apartment?
Boss, something's been bothering me. And I'll tell you about it in the next episode.
And I'll see you all then. Goodbye, good night, and good luck.